Hey guys, welcome to Star Wars on a High. Thank you for stopping by. We are back for another Andor Wednesday, a show that just keeps delivering great episodes. Before I dive into that, make sure you come tomorrow night, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time for our live stream with Jimmy, Ben, myself. We're going to be talking about this episode in all spoilery detail and, of course, all the recent Star Wars news that we want to cover. So come by, give us your thoughts about the episode, and hang out, say hello. And of course, on this video, let us know what you think of Andor so far. If you guys know anything about me, I have loved this show so far. And this episode was no different. First of all, I want to talk about the structure of the show and how I've really enjoyed it. We have these 3-episode arcs that are almost like movies. They're almost standalone movies with Andor. And we're seeing so many interesting aspects of the rebellion, of the galaxy at this time. And I think it's adding so much depth to the Star Wars universe, adding so much depth to what the reign of the Empire actually meant for the people in it, in ways that the original trilogy hinted at we're now getting to experience. That, along with Bad Batch, which is showing the transition, is just really adding just so many dimensions to this era of Star Wars, and it is so awesome. I am such a fan of how we're getting to go through these little movies, basically covering different perspectives of the rebellion, different missions, and I hope that the next two, the 6 episodes left, are just as good as what we've gotten so far, because this is definitely, I think, the best show on Disney Plus so far, and I don't think it's particularly bold to say. I think a lot of fans are really enjoying this show. Love Kenobi, love Mando, but this is just a really awesome piece of Star Wars media. Now, the last 2 episodes have been building towards this final heist during the Eye. And let's talk about the visuals in this episode first, because they were really good. We get this awesome meteor shower, the Eye as they call it, that looked really gorgeous. Such a cool piece, such a unique thing to add to this planet we're on that I just was really just so happy they executed as well as they did. We had TIE fighters that the CGI looked really good on. We had a nice little chase scene. It was really well done. And the practical effects in these Imperial bases really stand out. I really enjoy how the grittiness of this show and the good use the good use of practical effects mixed with just enough CGI has been really well done throughout the show. Now, the tension has been laying for the last 2 episodes, building to this mission, and I think a lot of us expected things to go wrong, and they did in really interesting ways. Obviously, spoilers ahead if you have made it this far. Our crew, our little ragtag group who was on this mission, a lot of us didn't expect anyone to make it out, and very few did. And what was really well done throughout the episode was the fact that I did not know who was going to make it. I didn't know how things were going to go wrong. I thought it was really well shot, how we'd flash to different characters at different moments. We had the Imperial guy in the radar comm start to realize something's off. We flash out to the locals who are doing their spiritual worship of the Eye. You flash to the other group of the mission. So you're constantly in this different perspective. The music is building, so the tension's ramping up. And so I thought that was really effective. And what we get is, I think, really interesting, because the mission goes pretty well at first, and naturally one piece goes awry and the whole thing ends up a mess, and characters start dropping. And Andor is really good in the sense that it feels like characters die. It's not like, oh, all the good rebels get out and they save the day and they complete the mission. Nope, they're just picked off one by one. A character, that we've really come to like, Nemec, over the last couple episodes, this revolutionary, he gets on the ship, makes it out, and then is crushed to death by credits. And that's really gruesome and really sad. And then Skeen, who is going to betray the group for the money, you start to realize the reason he wanted to take Nemec to the doctor is not because he cares about Nemec. It's because he wanted to be able to get rid of them and take the money himself. And it just shows you how gray and how gritty things can get in these type of imperialistic, terrible moments, right? And so I think it does a fantastic job of showing the moral ambiguity, showing how these characters are looking out for themselves. And Andor just kills Skeen, right? Just boom, shoots him right away, setting himself up for suspicion, like he was trying to take the money. And I just really enjoy that the show is not clean. It's not clean in that regard. It doesn't make it easy. Our heroes don't get away. Nemec, this easily young, likable revolutionary, gets crushed to death and there's no saving him. He doesn't survive. And it's so effective because it we obviously know the fate of Andor based on Rogue One, but every one of these characters I question what they'll be. And that makes the viewing experience so thrilling. It has me on the edge of my seat trying to see how these characters will survive and what they bring to the table. And so the show has done that extremely well in the first 6 episodes. This episode has an ending where we get to the Imperial Senate, which is really, really cool to see with Mon Mothma out there. And, the reveal that it's now making its way to the Capitol, that there's been this successful heist. And we see Luthen kind of celebrating in the back. And where do we go next? I can't wait to find out. I just want to, I've done it a lot when I talk about Andor. I want to tip my cap to Disney for letting the show get made. It's mature, it's adult, it's different. It is not copy and paste. And I love Mandalorian, and I love Kenobi, and I love so much of the animated Star Wars. It's all so good, and they're all so unique. We get Tales of the Jedi in just 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now, and it's going to be just amazing and fantastic in its own way. And this show feels so fresh, but it feels Star Wars. I love that the music is different, but the visuals are similar. It's so cool. And I've repeated this 100 times. I know if you guys have watched my reviews, you're probably tired of it. But I really enjoy the fact that we have now added depth and layers to what it means to be a rebel. And now we know what the sacrifices are. It isn't just these force-wielding heroes fighting in the sky. It's people sacrificing their lives, getting crushed to death by, currency in your little way to try to stick it to the man, your little way to try to rebel. These people are sacrificing their lives. They're not getting glorious endings. No one's going to remember these guys. And that shows how courageous they are. And I love the show is putting that, because this is what war is like. This is like a war movie, and it's making Star Wars. It shows you what was really at stake in the galaxy. And so I think it has actually strengthened the original trilogy. I really do. I love how glum and dire things look. It's not this, it's not this galaxy with just a couple of mean guys in white stormtrooper helmets. It was a really, really dark and challenging place, full of suspicion, full of slimy characters, gray moral decisions, and it's just really, really cool to see. What did you guys think of this episode? Let me know down below. As you know, I'm a huge Andor fan. I love this show. I'm completely blown away with what I've seen, and I think I need to add an Andor hat to my collection. But thank you guys for being here. A lot of fun Star Wars on the horizon. Tales of the Jedi. Jimmy and I are going to react to every episode because they're going to be short. We're going to love them. And so you want to stick around on the channel and be ready for those. Again, we appreciate all your support. Looking forward to a solid end to 2022. We'll see you all again very soon.